Hey guys, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Every weekday I try to watch and cover a new movie or show, and today we'll be going over Samaritan. Samaritan is a middle-tier action hero movie featuring Sylvester Stallone, Pilo Asbeck, and Siobhan Walton, and directed by Julius Avery. As far as action hero films go, this one has all the makings of a bad one. Cheesy lines that make you cringe and laugh, all the cliches you never wanted, and stiff macho acting. It's fun and doesn't take itself too seriously though. The story starts with Nemesis and Samaritan, a pair of superpowered twins. Nemesis grows up to be a villain and Samaritan a hero. The two eventually clash and both of them seem to die in the fight. 20 years go by and no one hears a word about either of them. Sam, a 13-year-old boy, lives with his mother in a bad neighborhood. They're about to get evicted, so Sam is willing to do anything for money. He starts committing petty crimes with his friend and finds himself getting dragged deeper into Cyrus, the local mob boss's world. Cyrus is a gangster who believes that Nemesis was actually a hero trying to tear down the system, and he wants to follow in his footsteps. Things go well for Sam at first. He helps his mom pay rent and even gets a little respect. Then the next day, a member of Cyrus's gang has a problem with Sam and is about to beat him up when an old man, Joe, comes to his rescue. Can Joe help Sam turn his life around? And will Samaritan appear to stop Cyrus? Find out by watching. As far as the writing goes, the concept is pretty good, but the film has so many cliches and holes in it that it's hard to praise the story. It tries to deliver a moral message that gets completely undermined by Joe's brutal actions, and the villain's character and motivations are just too weak. The dialogue is hot garbage. So many stinkers made it past the editor and into this film. You constantly have to stop and take a minute to breathe because you can't believe someone really just said that. My favorite example is,
"You keep calling me the good guy. I'm not the good guy. I'm the bad guy."
They don't give you enough detail about Joe or his mindset, and I think it does the story a disservice. Joe is central to the plot, and ultimately it is his growth that we care about as an audience. He does get quite a bit of it, but they don't fully flesh it out, and there are some obvious questions that go completely unanswered. The acting is pretty standard for a superhero film. The child actors are okay, but the majority of the film falls on the shoulders of the adults. Stallone does his usual action hero performance, stiff and stoic. He adds just enough emotion to get the feeling sort of right and then calls it a day. He struggles with a few lines in the movie. Pilo Asbeck is serviceable as the villain but not memorable. He's loud and angry, but it's mostly hot air. There's little depth to the character and we don't learn much about him. There's a lot of emotion-based music, tracks that are meant to heighten the mood but not necessarily stand out. They fit well with the scenery, but most of it is just upgraded Hollywood boilerplate music. It's okay, but it feels a little lifeless. The film is generally nice to look at. They know how to center their characters well, and each scene has really good lighting. There's a lot of color, and each set has its own unique design to it. For example, Joe's apartment has this really basic look to it, like a man keeping to himself. In contrast to that, you have the reporter's home, which has articles plastered all over the walls with strings and maps everywhere. The action is a little choppy, lots of swing plus reaction shots, but rarely do they ever show the hit. It jumps around pretty fast, but it's usually easy to follow. The fights start out fairly standard for a superhero film, but are pretty brutal by the end. In conclusion, Samaritan ends up being a pretty mediocre experience. A lot of cheesy dialogue, middle-tier action, and acting that isn't turning any heads. It's fun for what it is and entertaining as a movie in general, but if you like deep art forms, this isn't it. If you like action, turn your brain off and enjoy this one. 5 out of 10.